Hey Art Fam, it's Luis Martin, the art engineer, and welcome to the safe space. Welcome to this sanitized area. I will not get you sick. Are you ready for this? Alright, we're open for business. Listen, can you hear me? Yes, I have been out of commission for about a week. I've been a puddle on my couch, completely zonked. I feel a little bit better. I got medication and I'm taking painkillers, so I feel wonderful actually. But I'm up and up. Before we continue, be sure to like and subscribe and tell your friends about Collage Dream. Let them know that there are dreamers in the world. You guys, I'm not even kidding. So be careful because I keep telling you, right? Like, I'm the type of person that keeps going until like my body hits me in the shins and be like, stop, relax, or else you're gonna kill yourself. And I think that's what needed to happen. I got a pink eye, which was not caused by the typical reason, which I was giggling about. Apparently now respiratory infections are a thing. It's a seasonal thing. I've never, excuse me, I've never had one. It's not fun. Oh my god, it was horrible actually. So anyway, we're here and I just needed to show up because I want to feel like I'm alive and this makes me really happy. One thing that often happens for people who are absolutely driven like myself is we always need to feel productive. Like, oh my god, I need to be doing something, right? So I realized, wait, I already did something. I have a calendar I need to share. So I'm going to share with you today the Paper Roots 2025 calendar. This is our fifth calendar, 5 years, which to me is a really long time because I don't think, other than the YouTube, I don't think I've done anything for 5 years. I know, this probably isn't the best thing, but it's the best thing for me. I have coffee, iced coffee. What do you got? Well, what it is, it just gives me that energy. And then for a minute, I'm myself again. I know. Spoken like a true addict. But okay, I hope you can bear with me with my deep voice. Maybe I'll break into song. So the hat, my hair hurts, my teeth hurt because I hadn't had coffee. So that's what it is. All right, let's get to business, you guys. It's going to be a short video because I don't want to attack you with my deep voice, give you nightmares. But I did want to share the Paper Roots calendar. Now, every year I make it, and it's a celebration of my Latino heritage. And I make it a point to point out certain dates that are important to us as a collective and me personally. And I also want to share some of my work that kind of highlights that Latino aesthetic. The cover is probably the most Latino thing I've ever made, which is a cigar box, and I think it's from the Dominican Republic. My husband Elvis is from the Dominican Republic, so this is kind of fun. And this is actually, so this is the thing, right? Like, I forget that I live in an artwork. I live in my art, right? So this is actually from a shadow box that I made. And I took a picture of it. I was like, right, like it's everywhere. So I was able to just take a picture of the shadow box and use it as a cover, and I'm really happy about it. It's also the background for January. Are you ready for this? First of all, I can't believe it's already going to be 2025. I can't believe that Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa is coming just like that. So we gotta just prepare, right? Prepare for what comes after that. All right, so I have a plan for that. So let's get into it. So this is January, you guys. Oh my God, how fitting is that? So I really do feel like I've been resurrected, and I think we have to do that, right? Especially with the elections and all that crap. We really do have to kind of reassess what's important to us and what's going on in the future. What do we want to see? Yeah. So it's a beautiful image of a figure with a bird, a hummingbird, and a god behind them, and it's kind of very cosmic. There's butterflies. I actually made this 5 years ago in Mexico, in Yucatan, which is what spurred the inspiration for this calendar. Because I went to Mexico, where my father's from, for the first time, And I would hear about this place as the past. So to be able to go to this place that's very modern and very present was such a gift. And I was like, oh, I need to interact with this in some way, right? So I have some important days in January. Three Kings Day, which is something we celebrate every year at my house. We cut a huge piece of bread. We have people over. Is on the 6th, which is on a Monday. We'll have to think about that. Haitian Independence Day is on the 1st. And Juan Gabriel's birthday. You guys, if you don't know who Juan Gabriel is, I don't know if you've ever lived. Juan Gabriel was a queer Mexican singer. He wasn't openly queer, but when he was asked, "Are you queer?" he would say, "What is obvious is not asked," which is a cop-out, but, you know, it was different times, whatever. The thing is that he has a beautiful voice, and he was just so talented, so gifted. On the 20th, we have Martin Luther King. On the 29th, we have Chinese New Year, and it's the year of the snake. Ooh, what does the snake represent, right? It sheds its skin, again, resurrection, it's knowledge, it's when it's eating its tail, it represents infinity, right? Like the continuation of time. Oof, that's a very prophetic image at the moment, right? So let's move on to February. Oh, this is my favorite, one of my favorite. Well, they're all my favorite. Don't you love this little guy? So he is like a vintage image that I found, and this is actually a collage mock-up that I use for one of the mystery paintings. So this is in somebody's house. I believe it's either Mallory's or Doug's. One of you got these, yeah? So it's been really, it was so fun to put this in there as well. These are some tiles that I use over and over that I found in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. This is a flower that from a mural that I found in Savannah. So it's all this collection of things that kind of inspire me, right, to make this collage. In February, on the 1st, we have Black History Month. We have Groundhog's Day. We have Julia de Burgos' birthday, who was a Puerto Rican poet and activist. On the 27th, we have Dominican Independence Day. We have Valentine's Day on the 14th. Are you ready for March? I mean, look at this. It's just, time flies, right? Oh, okay. Wait, I skipped the whole point of this video, you guys. Let me jump back to January. So here's my thing. Get yourself this calendar ASAP. There's a link in the description, and there is a discount for you. $5 off. But most importantly, get a calendar, any calendar, and a pen, and get ahead of the game. So I'm just going to put on one day at random. For me, it'll be January 15th. And I'm going to say, call 3 people. And ask them what their favorite food is. I won't be able to read that later, but I'll remember. Why? Well, because January is cold and sad, and I'm going to want to be at home like I usually am, and I need to reach out. And I know people want to be reached out at, right? And what is more touching than asking someone what their favorite food is? I don't think I know what anybody's favorite food is. Mine is pancakes. Yeah, do that. So, and that'll just create community and love, and then you'll know what to make when this person or one of these people come over to your house. Wouldn't that be lovely? Okay, so then for February, I'm just going to go ahead and do it on the 14th and say, buy yourself something cheap. Go to the 99-cent store, if those still around, and buy yourself a bunch of cheap shit and just make something beautiful, right? Make a date with yourself is basically what I'm saying. It's the 14th, so I know we'll share it with our loved ones or our partners. Don't forget to include yourself in that equation. Self-love, right? Okay, so in March, we already did March, and actually no, we didn't. Okay, so here's March. This is actually my husband's birthday month, and this is one of his favorite collages that I made, so I included this for his birth month, and I love it. It's just this beautiful masculine image, right? The archetype of a youth or of masculinity and a virile. in the jungle, and there's a voyeur here taking pictures, and there's people looking. And at some point, I think we should all feel like that, right? Beautiful and lusted after, at least once in our lives. And if not, feel free to lust over. And the important dates here are Gabriel Garcia Marquez's birthday on the 6th. He's the writer of 100 Years of Solitude, which is one of my favorite books that literally took 100 years to read. But it was so beautiful. They're making a Netflix adaptation of the book, and I'm really excited about it. I kind of want to read it again. Let me know if you want to do that with me. I'm excited. Okay, the 1st of March is Women's History Month. St. Patrick's Day, Spring Equinox, Cesar Chavez's birthday, which is really important. Daylight Saving Time. Okay, so on the 11th, keeping Garcia Marquez in mind, I'm going to call 3 people and ask them favorite book. Right? Again, reaching out, making connections, and getting to know the people that I love a little bit better. Right? How fun is that? Okay. April. This is one of my favorite collages. I made this. I don't know when I made this. I made this a while ago, but I think it was one of the when I started to really take collage really seriously, as like I started selling these at art fairs, and it was just a beautiful image. And I think this is an archetypal image. I think this is a collage that everybody makes at some point in their collage journey, and they're all unique, they're all different, but we all kind of arrive at it, right? And I think it's kind of because it's just lips, it's like we're about to say something, and it's kind of our proclamation. I am an artist, I am a collage artist, and it's quite beautiful. So if you haven't made this collage, make it, because it's very meaningful. So it's April. On April, we have Dolores Huerta's birthday, who was a Chicana activist. We also have on the 16th, Selena's birthday. We have Easter, we have Good Friday, we have Earth Day. What am I gonna, on Earth Day, I'm gonna say, I would love to say like go plant something, but the truth of the matter is that I live in New York City and I don't know if I'd be able to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna go say, take a walk. Ooh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna say, take a walk with your Polaroid. How about that? Take 3 pictures. I love that. So I'm inviting you to do this with me, okay? And maybe keep me accountable. Okay, May, already in May. So this is May, and I was thinking about, mothers. I'm not close to my mother, but I made this. So this is what's inside of this box. If that makes sense. And I made this thinking of my 3 sisters. I have 3 sisters. We all have very different, separate lives. But I like the idea of putting them in a box, kind of as jewels, as something to be taken care of. Made me feel a little bit better about our relationship. So I love this. It's beautiful, and there's an actual stone in there. This is an actual rock that I glued, and that's the cool thing about making dioramas or 3-dimensional objects, right? You can actually put stones in there, and you can actually make it 3D. This is also kind of 3D in the box. So May, we have Workers' Day, May 1st. Yes, we have World Collage Day on the 10th. It's always collage day here, but go for it. On the 11th, Mother's Day, Paraguayan Independence Day, and Memorial Day on the 26th. So what can I say? I'm just going to say on the 22nd, paint. That's it. Paint. If you send me a text or on Instagram a painting you made on the 22nd of May 2025, I'll give you something. I don't know. I promise. Okay, this is June. This is my birth month, so this is my favorite collage in the lot. And why? Well, this was from Februlage, and you know, my mind never turns off. So I'm in constant dialogue with the divine, with myself, with people. So I love this. I love the idea of funnels, right? So there's so much chatter in the world, there's so much chatter in my head that I need to make sure that what I'm paying attention to is something that's aligned to me, right? That's something that's good for me. So I love these brown hands. I think something that really sticks out, like when you're watching TV and you see a close-up of a black person's hand or a brown person's hand, you realize, whoa, like we don't see that very often, right? So it's very moving to see people of color's hands, especially with the jewelry, right? That's authentic, that's part of us. So I love this collage for that reason, and it's my gift to you, right? Like, it's my birth month, and I want you to be blessed. I want you to get all of the messages, all of the flowers you deserve. All right, so June, the holidays are Filipino Independence Day on the 12th, and you're like, wait, I thought this was a Latino calendar. It is. With Filipino, they were colonized by the Spanish, which is why it's called Philippines after King Philip. But it's fine. So yeah, they're very much our distant cousins, right? Juneteenth and the 19th, and yes, Africans were taken to Mexico, to Latin America, so they're our cousins as well. So, we're all connected, is basically what I'm saying. On the 20th, summer solstice. On the 15th, Father's Day. Ooh, how can I forget? Hello. LGBTQ2IA, Pride Month. Oh my God. This is so important. Now, I don't know, I know why, but it feels like such a point of contention. Like, every time I think of like queerness, I'm like, how am I stepping up today for my queer community, right? Because I live in the United States in this really gross moment, how do I show up for my community? How do I create safe spaces for the people that need it? I think I shared that I've been watching this show called Heartstopper, and it's this beautiful love story about these boys falling in love, and these kids, these queer kids. And I think one thing that I noticed that I hadn't mentioned excuse me, is that, so a few months ago I read a book that Elvis made me read. It's called They Both Die at the End, and I read it, and it felt very different from all of the other queer books I'd ever read. And what it was is that there was no self-hatred in it, right? Because as queer people, we were taught, ingrained from the beginning, to question our validity of existing, which causes self-hate, which causes all this horrible turmoil. So in this book, there was none of that. When I started watching the show, I realized, oh my goodness, there was bullying, there was like a horrible world around them, but there was no self-hate between each other. And I thought, wow, I want to perpetuate that, right? I want that world. I want to create more of that world. And then seeing these characters and the people around them who protected them. And I was so lucky to be protected by so many great people, like my aunt, like my teachers, by a lot of women, actually, by all women, actually. I really did not have any male, I did not have any mentors, because unfortunately at the time, a lot of the queer men were dying of AIDS. So, I mean, not only is that why also women's rights are so important to me, but it's just logic, right? Like, we gotta stick up for each other. So, I'm gonna say, do a free queer collage workshop at the center. How about that? I think that would be so important to me. Although I have to play with that. I did the 17th, which is right around my birthday, but I'm usually traveling. You gotta keep it good, guys. Okay, so we're almost halfway through the year. Oh my gosh. I thought this was gonna be a quick one. We're already in 20 minutes. Okay, so this is another one of the paintings that I did for the the mystery paintings, and I think this is actually going to be in a bookstore in the Bronx, you guys. I'll put the information on the bottom. One of our art fam who went to the Day of the Dead event is opening a fantastic bookstore, and we have to go. I'll put a link, order from them. They're going to be amazing. And it's kind of a pessimistic one. It says too late, too soon. But it's July. It's beautiful. Excuse me. So here we have, on the 2nd, we have Sylvia Rivera's birthday, who was very much an unsung hero of the queer community. I have a picture of her next to my desk. They were trans. They were fighters. Yeah, they need to be remembered. We have Independence Day. The next day we have Venezuelan Independence Day. We have Frida Kahlo's birthday on the 6th. So I'm going to say, the 6th, say paint. Actually, how about just do a self-portrait. Right? So in honor of Frida Kahlo, I'm going to do a self-portrait. I invite you to do the same. On the 9th, we have Argentine Independence Day. On the 20th, we have Colombian Independence Day. On the 24th, we have Simón Bolívar's birthday. Now, this is kind of like, Simón Bolívar is a character in history full of the what-ifs. He wanted to unite Latin America into a superpower. Like, if he would have achieved that, the world would look completely different, you guys. At any rate, on the 28th, we have Peruvian Independence Day. All right, August. August is beautiful and steamy, and I love this. It's like just a man, and have you ever felt this way where you're just kind of like, peaked, and you're like feeling your body, and the birds are everywhere. I mean, take me there. So in August, we have Bolivian Independence Day. Did we already have Bolivian Independence Day? Did we do it twice? No. Might have been Uruguayan. I don't know. So, and then we have Ecuadorian Independence Day, Uruguayan Independence Day. I mean, listen, we've had to fight for independence, apparently. Yeah, so with that in mind, I'm going to say, I want to say do something transgressive, which is so open for interpretations, right? And I think as a man, anytime you do anything feminine is something transgressive, right? I'm very male presenting, but if I wear all my jewelry at once, people get freaked out, right? Like, oh, who is this? And I mean, I live in New York, but New York is pretty lame these days, you guys. So I'm gonna say, wear all your jewelry at once, and then I'll take a picture. Okay. September. Oh, isn't this beautiful? I love this. I love this so much. There's that snake, you guys. Yeah, why do I love it so much? I don't know. I love all the colors, but I also love the idea of apparitions, right? In Catholicism, there's a lot of like apparitions of saints and virgins, right? The patron saint of Mexico, La Virgen de Guadalupe, was an apparition to an Indian, right? The Native American of the space, and gave him messages of stuff. So I kind of like this idea of apparitions. I'm always waiting for apparitions. So this is September. September, it says Brazilian Independence Day, Latino Heritage Month on the 25th, Mexican Independence Day on the 16th, Chilean Independence Day, Equinox, Gloria Azaldúa, who is an amazing writer, queer writer. Really quick, the whole Latina, Latinx, Latino, Latina, how you address us, is very complicated because it's very political, you guys. What happens is they try to hold us back by making us argue between each other about what we're called, right? So if I'm like, don't call me Latinx, that's the end of the conversation, right? Because if we're here to talk about how we can prosper as Latinos, and I'm making a big fuss about not calling me a Latino and not calling me Latinx, we can't move beyond that. And this has happened for years, right? So we used to be Hispanics, we used to be call everyone Mexicans, call everyone Latino. I mean, it's cyclical. So please, don't let that stop you from inquiring, reading about the culture, and don't let that, as Latinos, stop us from talking to each other. God, that's what they want, really. Okay, so this is October, you guys. October is my favorite month, probably, out of the year, because that's when we're getting ready for the Day of the Dead. We're getting ready for Halloween, and it opens the doors to the high holidays, right? I love this collage so much. There's so much happening. Yeah. And we have Dia de la Raza on the 12th, which is like kind of a Chicano, Latino celebration right before Indigenous Peoples Day. And then we have Halloween and Hanal Bishan, which is Day of the Dead in Yucatan. What can we do here, you guys? What's a good thing we can do? I don't know. We can do something to celebrate Halloween early. How about, on the 8th, buy new tarot deck. Ooh, that makes me excited. See, if you get ahead of the game, like, you just have treasures waiting for you, right? So please do this exercise when you get this calendar or whichever calendar you choose to get. Oh, November. Why do I love this, you guys? Why? Because it's pink. So much pink. I love it. Yes, November. Okay, so I just love this because I already said it's pink. I always love when I put like a little glimpse of landscape in the back. There's water here, and it's an offering, right? It's like the God is giving us something. And like this really beautiful bubblegum graffiti, which I've included in the diaries, collage, digital collage kits. Beautiful. So it's a conversation with you all the time, if you remember. November, we have Daylight Savings Time, which just happened. Election Day, the Day of the Dead on the 1st, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Panamanian Independence Day. So I'm going to say on the 1st, oh well, how about on the 3rd after the Day of the Dead is over? Actually on the 5th after Election Day. I'm going to say plan Friendsgiving. We're already doing that now, and it's very exciting. I'm just going, but everybody else is bringing great stuff. I'm really excited. So do that. Plan a Friendsgiving. And then December, you guys. December, the last month, I needed to send this to you. Look at this. Isn't this wonderful? Also, I just want to point out, I was, you realize how far you've come along. Like before, I would never have been able to say that about my own work. Isn't that wonderful? And I don't say it from a cocky place. I say it from I had so much fun making this, and the meaning and what it offers you as the viewer. So yeah, allow yourself to love your work. I love my work. This one in particular is she's bringing up the moon. She's kind of bringing up her magic. That's her power, and the sun is behind her, supporting her. I love this for so many reasons, and there's on so many levels, right? So December, we have on the 12th, the Day of the Virgin Mary. We have World AIDS Day. We have Christmas, we have Kwanzaa, Winter Solstice, New Year's. On the 9th, which is actually my brother's birthday, let's say call 3 people and remind them they are the gift. Is that cheesy? I love it. I'm all cheese. I'm all Gouda and feta. No, not feta. What's the one that comes in? I'm brie. I love brie. Okay, so be cheesy. I'm gonna call 3 people and be like, you know what? You're the gift. I hope you know that. And that's it, you guys. That is my calendar. Here is the whole setup of all of the images. This is more than a year's work because, like I said, some of the stuff I made years before. And I invite you to buy this and be part of this wonderful world that I'm constantly constructing. And here's a picture of me. Yeah. And yeah, so if you are an artist, I think you should make one. I'm sure you have more than 12 collages you can do. One of our art fams is doing something really exciting where they're doing a digital one. So think about it. You don't even have to sell it. You can email it to people, or you can sell it and generate some excitement and some revenue. So this is my way of inviting you into my world and getting some excitement and revenue into my life. You guys, I am so happy that I am not a puddle anymore, and I'm happy I can do this. So thank you. Check out the link below and use that discount to get your $5 discount and free shipping in the US. All right, big hugs, and I will see you next week.